Hello! um, those of you who follow this carefully will have noticed that I have done a very poor job of keeping ramblings up for the past few months. The realities of fieldwork, both schedule and technology, internet access-wise, proved to be more difficult than I expected. Fieldwork itself was brilliant, it just ramblings kept being the last thing to happen. But I'm now back in London, yay! Pretty much properly for the summer, and I will be working on my thesis, which, after all, is how ramblings first started far too many years ago now, as a summer thesis project to give me something to do other than to stare at the computer writing all summer, all day, every day. So here we go, the summer in London. Ramblings needs to happen to keep me sane and to keep generating some kind of content. I think that I will be doing a series of economic concepts, very different than what I have been doing on fieldwork, and also very different than what I'm currently doing with my PhD, but a concrete set of concepts, ideas, issues that I can do and make an actual ramblings series in the kind of classic rambling style, unlike what this has become in the past year, which has been more like a personal vlog. Apologies to that, to the random viewers on the internet who are just here for the international relations theory or what have you. I'm still struggling in my head with how I'm going to do economics only talking for 5 minutes without, you know, graphs and lines and charts. Maybe I'll fake a chart here. No, it'll be fine. I'll have fun. It will be a very good exercise for me in explaining concepts. Which again, the original point of ramblings. Woohoo! Anyway, to sign out though with the personal vlog element, just since I am back in London and fieldwork did happen, and I was really bad at talking as much in Lebanon as I intended to. I don't even remember what the last ramblings said or when I implied that I would next update everyone. But Lebanon ended very, very well. Had a great 2 months with the Media Association for Peace. They successfully put on the first national conference on media, peace, and the environment, which was incredibly cool to be at. Incredibly difficult to try and work through all of the Arabic in my head. And I now have a beautiful amount of data, both in Arabic and in English, in terms of how activists, but also academics, journalists, experts, policymakers, and others in Lebanon and around the region are looking at the connections between the environment and peace, and with MAP and Lebanon, of course, adding the journalism element, which, for my purposes, though, mostly means that more of it is written down and intentional thought process rather than direct action, which is a little easier to analyze in the way that I'm doing and have set up for the PhD. So that's very cool. This summer is now going to be spent typing up all of the interviews that I did in Morocco, Kuwait, and Lebanon, and starting to then go through the text of those interviews and looking at what kinds of phrases and words and what kind of claims are coming up and forming some kind of patterns. So any time that someone in the interview says something like natural resources create conflict, whether it's that exact phrase or some kind of claim to that logic, it will be coded, marked, and flagged in a certain way in the software, and then I'll start to see how often that appears, if it appears more in Kuwait discourses than in Lebanese discourses, what have you. I have no idea. I haven't done any of this analysis, so don't assume that it does. And then also things like every time people say nature is something unique in peace because it is, you know, everyone is connected to it, or what have you. Those kinds of logics, again, I will be looking at for similar things. So it should be interesting, a very different activity for my daily life for the next few months in terms of sitting at a computer rather than running around with in the Middle East with activists, but should be good. The real proper meat of my thesis in terms of figuring out what it is that I just spent 6 months doing, since I'm still not entirely clear on that. So it should be really exciting. I will do some ramblings on the economic series, as I said, but then also perhaps probably on discourse analysis tools and the kinds of things that I'm actively doing with the data crunching, which will be helpful as I'm still exploring different softwares and ways to actually exist as a grad student. Here we go.